48-hour art check, round 40. All right.
All right.
I feel like round 40 is appropriate for all of the aches and pains that we're having with everything right now.
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Feeling old.
We've done 40 of these, man.
I know, it's crazy. I feel like we've reached the top of a precipice, and from this point on, the art check will just
downhill.
be one long ride downhill.
The art check's biological clock has given up, and it'll just start to degrade slowly as it holds on. And younger art checks will look at it and just pity it.
Although I feel good about achieving 40 on these things, I think this is pretty cool. It's pretty rad that we've gotten to this point of 40 of these things.
And
stubborn persistence pays off.
Especially like the last couple weeks. There have been some, like, I thought we were doing really well before when I was on the road or whatever. But like the last couple weeks have been exceptionally difficult to make sure we get 3 in. We had one at like 1 in the morning or something. Like, we've gotten them in though. We're doing it, kind of come hell or high water. So,
hell yeah,
yeah, okay, cool. I'll start. Let's see. I do want to start. I'll talk about this during challenges. I'm a little punch drunk because I just drove 300 miles with an ear infection on a motorcycle, and I probably took more Advil than I should have. And I'm very tired. So if I push the wrong button, that's why.
Nice.
So as far as art goes for me, is the clock going to start? There we go. I didn't get a ton done, but I did start the sketch for the 5th and final Bombshells pinup that I will be doing for the show. A few more back and forth things on the posters and the stickers that I will be printing, and I have more accurate numbers and a better idea of exactly what I'm doing. So after this, I'll be printing that stuff. So how about you?
I pretty much hit what I was kind of hoping to hit. What you'll see on the left is my finished page, and then the next is the roughs for page 71, which in reality is like closer to like page 76 or 77 when I include all the chapter breaks and stuff.
Oh,
so
cool.
I feel pretty good. I actually came up with that idea to kind of well, it's just a repeat of the scene. I'll just kind of continue that in challenges, I guess.
Okay. So for challenges, crap. I just hit the wrong button. I'll just use the progress timer for challenges. Ignore the thing. I got sick and have an ear infection, and then I had to drive back. And I got one of those things where I was just tired of not being in my house, so I could have like stayed a little bit longer, but I needed to get back to get everything going. And it was really painful and cold, and it took a long time. So there's my main challenge. Do you want me to pull this back up?
No, that's good. I guess so. Yeah. So basically, for me, the interesting thing was trying to kind of come up with a unique way to continue this, and I realized the text pairs really well with just having the entire playground clear out and repeat the same thing with like one isolated character in the corner and then 2 on the bottom, which will reflect the story and stuff like that. And challenges are overtime and not sleeping.
Right. Yeah, I like that. I really like. I know we're supposed to be talking about something else right now, but I like, especially when a scene is exceptionally complicated. I like seeing it repeated for storytelling effect. Because it's almost like a cinematic thing where you cross dissolve or jump cut to the same scene, but a lot has changed. And I think that works.
I mean, I feel like those full page cinematic things aren't really used as often in comics as they should be. So anytime I see an opportunity to do something interesting or kind of different with paneling or the page turn, I always try to kind of jump on it, which is why I like having the roughs kind of spaced out throughout the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Um, so as far as plans go, um, I'm planning on kind of the same plans. I'm gonna finish this sketch and finish it as a poster um, and a sticker, and then I'm also gonna get all the stuff that I'm showing here on the sides. I'm gonna put in an order for those things and make sure that they get printed, and then I have to design. I have a big thing. I don't have time to show you, but I have a big thing. It's like 16 feet tall in a loop. And so I've got to design this sign that has a bunch of stuff that will be cool. I'll talk about it in a minute.
I love it.
Sorry, I took 10 seconds of your plans.
No worries. So my plans are just to try to start doing the rough pencils for this page, and I feel like since it's repeating a lot of the background elements, it should go a little bit quicker. But I'd like to be at least started on the rough pencils. So yeah.
Cool.
And by the way, I didn't get to mention this, but I was really impressed by the Bombshell series. I really like it.
Oh, thanks.
And I kind of like the little detail on it. Looks like the teacup's going to have a little bit of like China pattern on it.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool.
And I don't know what I'm going to do there, but I want to do something kind of symbolic. So I've still got to kind of work through what kind of China pattern is going to be on the teacup.
Yeah, you almost wonder if you should do like that just explosion kind of thing on there or something.
Yeah, like a mushroom cloud or something subtle.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, so what do we want to talk about for 9.5 minutes?
Man, it's funny, but I am lost for topics. I'm pretty exhausted. The one thing that kind of has been on my mind lately has just been kind of like persistence and even the fact that we've gotten to kind of like 40 of these things. Just kind of thinking about like pursuing things, like when it's worth pursuing, how do you fight doubt, that kind of thing, which I know we've probably addressed before, but it's definitely one of those things where I'm creeping closer and closer to finish with this thing. And then you've been kind of working on setting up stuff for this show, and kind of it's becoming more and more of a reality.
Yeah.
So, and then you've also recently finished that picture book, so that's definitely becoming much more of a reality. So, sort of like, I don't know, I just feel like that might be kind of a topic where it's like when your projects start becoming more reality, how do you deal with like the oncoming potential anxiety that can cause?
Yeah, like I always kind of experience I call it post-project depression. just it's a play on postpartum depression, but like and I feel like they're similar in that you work really hard towards an end and you struggle, and then that end comes, and then there's like this letdown. And I haven't experienced that with this book yet, but I think that's because I'm too busy to like think about it a lot, and I'm kind of sleep deprived. But every other project where I've kind of done that, it's been like and I have a little bit experience like the marketing and the minutia and what most people would consider like the business side of art always feels so unfulfilling compared to the completion of the actual artwork. It's like I rarely get to like inbox 0 in my email and feel the same way that I do when I finish inking a rad page. You know what I mean? But like you have to check your email. It's part of like being an illustrator. And I'm kind of in that stage right now where like everything I'm doing is like, oh cool, like tonight after we're done here, I'm going to spend an hour probably putting all of my files into a PSD the way that the printer wants it. That's like I won't be able to post anything to Instagram afterwards. No one will care. I will have accomplished something that is a necessary step, but ultimately at the end feels hollow and pointless.
Yeah.
And there's always in the back of my mind that like real artists have other people that do this for them.
I like it. I think I think I can kind of relate. I mean, like to me, it's like I'm just kind of at this slow burn end of this comic. Like I know,
Yeah.
you know, I have like 5 pages left of the chapter.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, you know, I think that means probably like, I don't know what that equates to in comic pages, but script pages. It's a 6-page chapter, and I have 5 left. So that's you know, that's a little bit closer to done, and it creates all this weird just kind of feeling in me where it's like on one hand I really want to finish, on the other I'm like really nervous about finishing, because of the fact that I know all that stuff is ahead, and it's the very thing you're describing where it's like, well, then you have to like actually try to make it a reality. And not just that, there is that side, I think, of most artists, at least artists like myself, who it's like, I don't enjoy the hustle. Like, I would really, you know, of course, in my ideal world, like, you know, people would just be like, this is brilliant work. And, like, bookstores would come to you. And, like,
they just magically know.
Yeah, like, you know,
Josh has finished a book. I just sensed it.
Exactly. And writing agents would just be like, oh, it's brilliant, you finished, congratulations, let's represent you. And then the next day, you know, you'd have a big publisher or something. But I know the reality is not that, but it's like, I think because of that sort of desire to just do the art, and then just have it recognized without working after all the hard work, because it's so much labor to get these things done. Even the stickers you're drawing, you know, it's like you've done the work, so then to have to do work on top of that work, and that work part isn't the stuff that, you know, is fun.
I have a suggestion, because there's a very specific reason that I created this sticker stint. And it's exactly what you're anticipating, because I was anticipating the same thing, coming off of like a major project, and that's why I did the 100 Days of Animation, is because I just wrapped my master's, and then I was wrapping a major part of the children's book that I was working on, and I needed to make sure that I maintained momentum. And Here's the thing with the sticker stint, and this is why I think you should do it after these 5 pages, is because it is the most fulfilling way to like continue momentum, because every single day you accomplish something. You open a loop and you close it, and so like it's like this crowd page that you just did. It looks rad, but that took you 2 weeks, right? That's like a hard slog. And it paid off, and it looks really good, and it's definitely worth it, right? But, like, I know because of a couple comments that you made, and because of the way I feel when I do stuff like that, like, halfway through, you're like, holy crap, dude, this is taking forever, right? And with the sticker stint, you never experience that feeling. You might get burnt out a little bit, and you might be like, holy crap, this is hard. But, like, you never get to the point where you're like, dude, this is taking, because it can't take forever. You've got to start and finish a design every day. I think you should do it. I think you should wrap this chapter, and you should do 30 stickers in 30 days, or 30 t-shirt designs in 30 days, or 30 something in 30 days. Whatever it is. I wouldn't recommend posters, because I don't think you have time for backgrounds. But do that in a video. It's pretty awesome. And here's why I'm mentioning it to you. I'm the only one that's been able to do it. There's about 9 other people I know of that tried. They all failed.
Nice.
I think you could do it. I'm certain you
Yeah, I
could do
think
it
I
because
could.
you and I have a similar mentality,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you could do it. I got a lot out of it. It was really hard, but it was also like exactly what I needed to like avoid that like post project kind of let down, and then you can still do like the business side of things because you were able to do art that day.
Yeah, I think there's a couple things I'm gonna have to do first when I'm done with this book, which is like I'm gonna have to do covers, I'm gonna have to do interiors,
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to do book layout, and then also do some banner designs for to prep for conventions, and maybe a couple limited edition kind of print designs.
yeah.
But I think after all of that, I think I will actually be probably more than ready to kind of do something akin to that. Like I do remember doing a design a day for about 2 months, like a couple years back, and I remember from that having a lot of T-shirts that did really well come out of that, and it was just from that challenge of like. Also, it just gets you thinking more freely. Like
Right.
I think even trying out like styles you wouldn't try out necessarily. I'd love to try it.
The
It
the other
actually
the
sounds
other
really
thing that might be interesting, given what you've been working on the side of your main project, uh, doing some truncated version of the 100 days of animation. Do 15 days of animation or something like just like a 2 week period where you're like I'm gonna I'm gonna design, rig, and animate a walk cycle for this character or something.
I like that. I really like that idea.
Because I think you're on the verge of getting like, I think you've been bitten by the animation bug, and I think you're on like the verge of like toppling over into the abyss, and that
I
would just throw you
worry.
in.
I worry about that so much because it is kind of. I think the idea of having a drawing move is very exciting.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
I could show you a couple tricks though, um, and we still need to do that. Maybe we should do that the next time we meet, where we go through your animation that you did. Um,
Uh-huh.
there's a couple things that you can do that don't take very long and add a lot of really cool looking organic movement. And so, like once you get the hang of it, I think you could take an illustration, uh, cut it up and make it move like, and it might only add like an hour to your time.
Huh.
It's different than like I'm gonna do an animated short, which is like a 3 year project, but like
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I'm gonna take this illustration and I'm gonna do an animated GIF to go along with it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
So
like it. I'm kind of curious about that. I also might want to do something like that, like as a trailer for like if I kickstart the comic or something, might be a good idea.
yeah,
Whew, boy, a lot ahead, a lot ahead. It's funny. There's just never enough time. I know we're both in a similar position where it's like there is so much creative output. I think that we both kind of want to do, and just between hustling and promoting and trying to kind of get those things done, it's like um, it is funny. Like it's definitely one of those things where I feel like we probably have opened Pandora's box, and I don't know if that can ever be closed again,
yeah,
unless I guess you stop showing up for the work, and then maybe the blank page haunts you or something at that point.
right. I This is probably another this is another discussion, but
Okay,
many
to be
many
continued.
times I have seriously considered hiring like help, and I don't know what point you have to get to that point, but like if I didn't if have to do this, like a bunch of this stuff, I could get way more done. I'd have more products, I'd have more visibility, and it would be like just this positive cycle. I don't
Yeah,
know. It's so tempting. But then on the other hand, I don't have any money to hire help. So so it's kind of like a non-starter, but I've often thought, like an intern that's making, a livable but low wage because they're getting college credit and it's an intern. they'd get some decent experience if they were to do like the cleanup in between stuff in my animations.
That was one of the funnier moments, at least of like a difference in, I guess, success levels when I went to that opening for Jim Lujan and Bill Plimpton's movie. Was we're all kind of hanging out at a pub before the film screening, and I overheard Bill Plimpton telling another animator friend of mine who I know is not like Bill Plimpton level successful.
Right.
He's like, you know what you should do with your animation? Just hire somebody to kind of do your in betweens and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like realizing like I guess if you're like pretty successful in animation, then it would make sense to be like, yeah, you should just hire somebody to do your in betweens.
Right.
Whereas for me, I'm like, man, I'd love to hire somebody to do like my scanning and my like just cleaning up my blacks and
yeah,
flatting my artwork and yeah,
Dude,
that is something to consider though. Maybe for future. I think we've touched on that topic before, but that should be a topic for one of these.
Yeah, flatters.
Potentially hiring help.
Flatters are definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've done, when I was doing that webcomic, I did a flatter, and it's like between $8 to $12 a page, and saves you hours. It's just way worth it. I would, if I ever got back into comics, which I will at some point, I'm definitely gonna have a flatter. It saves you hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, it's not like they have to make even color selections for you. They just need to make really clean, flat selections that are different so that you can then color them. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
okay.
I think we should call it. And so I guess we'll do this next week. But you can check out Cory's art at CoryKerrArt.com, or was it Cory Kerr?
Just CoryKerr.com.
CoryKerr.com. And then it's Cory Kerr Art on YouTube's, which you're already on the channel, so you should hit the bell and subscribe. You can find my work at quarterlystories.com. You can also find it on Tapas by looking for Quarterly Stories, add it to your library there. And then the music was provided by No Saboteurs, which you can find on Facebook.com/No Saboteurs. And definitely go to Cory's site and keep an eye out, because I'm sure as these products are available, like for the show that he's going to be doing, it should also at some point be appearing, I'm sure, in the store there. And there will be lots of nice pictures and stuff of that work. And once again, if you want to give Cory some tips on like which images from his site you want to see at that convention, just let us know in the comments section. And we will see you guys next week.
Yes, and I will add one last thing. I will be doing a giveaway. One of every sticker that I print, I'm going to do a giveaway on YouTube. So if you like any or all of those things, stay tuned, because I'm gonna give a bunch of them away. So
Smooth.
Cool. We'll see you guys in a couple days.
Bye.